The Fearless Leader Podcast.
All right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Fearless Leader Podcast. Today we have Mr. Martesse Gilliam with us, co-founder of Brwls Yoga Studios here in Orange, New Jersey. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing very well.
That's good. That's good. That's good. Listen, Mr. Torres, walk me through some of the things. Actually talked to me about you. And I was like, listen, I have to meet this brother. And he was like, B, I think you met him because he was the one who had you stretched out on the floor doing the yoga exercises. I was like, nah. And I had to tell you, man, I'm going to tell you from the start, I commend you because I was, man, I mean, listen, we're going to get into all of that. I just wanted to commend you. You had my whole school in knots twisted and turned and the whole nine. So great job on that, Mr. Gilliam. But I want to go get into the questions. I had put some things aside for you. So your story was featured on CBS Saturday program in September.
Yes.
For those who do not know it. So please share with our listeners how you got to where you are right now. Just talk about that your travels.
Got it. So I have a past history in law enforcement. I was a law enforcement officer in Plainfield, New Jersey for 7 years. During that journey, being in the police force, about in my second year, I was arrested in Bloomfield, New Jersey, and charged I had a few charges. I was at a nightclub, but I was a victim of being brutally beaten by 7+ white officers in Bloomfield. And my civil rights was violated. And that whole case then took me out of work for 2 years, and I was suspended and then going through trial. After being in front of a jury, I was acquitted of all charges and returned back to police work. During that time period of being suspended, it was rough, not being a police officer anymore, and I found yoga, and I also opened up a martial arts school. So yoga helped. I say it saved my life because it was an outlet. It was a tool that I utilized to help regulate my emotions and kind of bring me back into a positive mental state.
And you know what I wanted to, Mr. Gilliam, I was even going to ask you that. How did yoga bring you back? So how did you get introduced to yoga then? So
I started training people, doing personal sessions. I had to get back out moving. I feel that movement is very healing. And so I just started training myself and training other people. I felt if I'm training other people, then it makes me train. So I got out and started doing personal training. And one of my personal training sessions, one of my clients asked me to come to a yoga studio. And I thought we were just going to do a class. And he actually surprised me with signing us both up for the teacher training.
Okay.
So, yeah, just kind of like yoga found me, and I was sponsored to go into a teaching training course.
You know, when I saw the video, I was taken aback some, but I was thinking about, I never really pay attention to the stress that police officers deal with. So when I saw when I saw the piece, and it spoke to something to the effect about the stress levels of the day-to-day of the police officers, that was the question that I was wondering. I was wondering, prior to your situation, were you already involved with yoga, or was it the situation that kind of put you in a space to get invested in yoga?
It was after the situation.
Okay.
Before that, there wasn't much help that's offered to, from my experience in the police department that I worked for, it wasn't much help that was offered to police officers.
Okay.
Police job is a very high stress.
Yeah. Yeah. And, I always look at it from the other side of the coin, Gilliam. I always look at it like, I'm stressed out when I have to deal with the authorities sometimes, and not in a bad way, but you kind of go through this angst that you have, and so I've always been concerned about my stress level, in those situations, and not so much about the police officers' stress level. But when I saw the clip, I was like, yeah, I could definitely, see where that would happen. In the clip, though, Mr. Gilliam, they called you the Zen boxer, they called you the Zen boxer, and they said that you were fighting for fitness. Walk me through that, like fighting for fitness.
Yeah, so I got into adult fitness, and I started doing some boxing training classes, fitness boxing classes. During those classes, I was also in my yoga teacher training, and I wanted to just stay sharp with my training, and I started implementing yoga into the end of my classes. And during the class, I would say, and I still say, a lot of affirmations, positive affirmations at the end of class, and get people just to connect to self and be present in that moment, have that experience of present in that moment, bringing yourself back to here. And I would do that in class, and people would have an experience, and some would cry, some would really connect and like, man, experience, positive emotions, being grateful. And they just started saying after class, man, you're the Zen boxer. So I got that nickname, being the Zen boxer. And then I went on to create a class that's a fusion of shadow boxing to the beat of the music and vinyasa yoga. And I took that class and went to bounced around to different studios. Lifetime Fitness being one of the larger studios that I was at, and where I taught that class, and it became very popular.
You think that how did the positive affirmations sort of like work itself into the workout? Was it that you saw people were struggling, or was it something that you saw people needed?
I feel like everyone needs it. Everyone needs to be inspired and empowered to believe in themselves. We need reminders sometimes. So, that's all it was. Just my way of motivating and pushing people to just tap into themselves and trust in themselves. Get rid of that self-doubt.
Listen, man, when I saw the video clip of you and the punches and everything like that, I was like, listen, I might have been too tired for some positive affirmations afterwards.
We slow it down for a second.
Okay. And listen, I'm a join, but I'm gonna need that real beginners class.
We got you.
I know. Listen, so 2019, you come up with the model to sort of open up Brwls. Was it 2019?
Yes, it was 2019.
All right, and so right on the heels of COVID.
Yeah.
Right. So did you feel like, hold up, man? Like, did I make a bad move right now? Did I jump into something? Like, what was going through your mind with that?
Oh, I mean, of course, that was one of the thoughts that popped in. Beforehand, it was we were really excited, and we still are. We were really excited to bring, a high level of boutique fitness to the city of Orange.
Okay.
We wanted to go into a city that we can connect with. And when I say we, I'm talking about also my business partner, Michelle Swittenberg, who we connected through her joining into my fitness classes. And then, we became partners. But we went to bring our boutique fitness to Orange, to places that we're both from Trenton, New Jersey.
Okay.
And, areas like Trenton, Orange, Newark, in the past would be fitness deserts. You wouldn't have cycles. You wouldn't have the really nice boutique fitness studios. So we wanted to bring something to Orange. So it was a lot of excitement around bringing something to Orange. There was a lot of excitement about the class and building out this beautiful brick and mortar. We started in October 2019. We were not expecting COVID. February, we got news that we probably would be opening probably the end of March, April. Right. And then March happened, COVID happened. So yeah, it was scary. We were like, well, all right, we didn't think it was gonna, like everyone else, we didn't think it was gonna be this long.
Right.
It was gonna be a couple of weeks and we'll be back at it.
Right.
We turned into what, 10 months, 11 months.
Really. And and even in education, I think folks thought, they were going to be out for a good 2 weeks and, we'd be back or some Christmas break, and it didn't happen that way. So I hear what you're saying though.
Yeah, but the name of BRWL is also an acronym, and it stands for Be Relentless With Life. So we had to just
I love that. I love that, though. I love that. If we weren't locked down on the podcast, I'd be like kicking it like he killed that one.
So we had to tap in and really embody that to the fullest. So before the shutdowns even happened, we made the pivot to live stream. We shut down our studio and made that pivot.
And I was going to ask you about the adjustment. I'm sure some sort of business model had to change. Some sort of changes had to happen to sort of keep up with what was going on.
Absolutely. We had to pretty much re-engineer our entire business model. Where the main focus was on the brick and mortar. Now it was like, okay, well, how can we, and this was in the model, but COVID forced us into on-demand, live streaming, being online a lot faster than we expected. But through it all, we're here, and I feel like as a community, as a whole, as a collective, we're all going to be stronger throughout this. If you make it through COVID, you made it through the pandemic, you're going to be stronger. We've gained so many new skills. We've actually have now streamed more classes than we did in person inside we're in a temporary pop-up space while our brick and mortar is under construction.
Right.
So, none of our trainers had that skill of being in front of cameras, but now we've done that more than anything.
And I think I was driving past one of the churches or something like that, and I saw like a group of folks out there, and I didn't know if they were shooting a video because everybody was in sync. I didn't know what was going on, brother. Brother Gilliam, I was like, hold up, like what's going on? And I came back. I came to the building, and folks were telling me they was like, oh, the yoga studio, that's where they do that's where they have their training sessions. So I was like, and I, spoke to a couple of people, and then I was like, so you just took the yoga studio on the road outside.
We rode outside. We went on the road. We partnered with Our Lady of the Valley Church right on Nassau and Valley Street. And we partnered with the Brwls Italian restaurant, and we just got right to it. Once it was warm enough for us to get outside, I mean, it's happened March, so it was warming up.
Right.
And we took it outside, where we can have people and gather. So once the Governor Murphy started giving us some guidelines, we went right to it and took it outside and took it on the road. And
go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying we had some success with some great times, and we're actually still brawling and outside even in the cold.
I like it. I like that. Are there a lot of men? Do you have a lot of men? And if like, how are you bringing the men into that? I always just when I think you guys had a presentation with us, I saw that. I spoke to a lot of the gentlemen, and they were like, "Oh, it was too much to stretch. It was this, and I didn't feel." How are you seeing a lot more of the investment with men? Like, listen, let me get into this thing, and how are you marketing it and selling it to men?
It's picking up. So we have a lot of male yoga teachers that are here that have a nice following, and we're slowly but surely attracting more and more men into the yoga space. There is a shift happening here. We do have a majority of women client base, but you'll still see a lot of guys out there outside doing the boxing. The boxing attracts more of the guys in to the class. And when I was bouncing around the different studios, it was starting to shift. I started to see more and more men coming in. So we do a lot of online, like Instagram posts, where I just posted on my Instagram handle, and some of our yoga teachers just posted on their Instagram handles, us doing some inversions, some handstands, and different challenging postures. So you can see that yoga is not just a stretching, sitting down, meditating, type of situation. It's to build strength. Right. Like the vinyasa portion of the yoga is to develop and build strength, power, and mobility. And it's challenging. It's a lot. You don't have to be flexible to do it. They're weight-bearing postures. So you're holding postures for a while and being with your breath. And it's challenging to do that, doing balancing postures and holding your weight.
Yeah. Brother Gilliam, do you guys get into the diet and the mental part of it?
Yeah, absolutely. So we just added, we have two individuals that specialize in breath work. And if you're not familiar with breath work, it's using your breath as a tool to release stagnant energy. And they have this whole experience and process. And the team that we've collaborated with is Breathe, Rise, Thrive. And we have a class every Sunday online. And it's this whole experience where we connect and we share, and they'll set the intention in the beginning of the class, and then they get into the breath work or the meditation. We have also offered sound bath meditations, which are meditations where we utilize instruments during that time. And you kind of fall into this meditative state trance, and you feel amazing afterwards. We offer the meditation at the end of every yoga class.
And so just talk to me about the meditation. Does that, and actually we just sort of had something like that at the school. It was a young lady who came through and did a meditation piece. I wasn't able to be a part of it. But so the brawl piece is really like the whole mind, body, diet, all of that. So you guys, it's just not you just with the yoga or the boxing, it's a little bit deeper than that.
Yeah, we collaborate with nutritionalists. It is deeper. Brawl is a feeling. It's a mentality. It's a state of being. Tapping in and controlling that energy inside of you. And meditation is a tool that can be utilized. So the word meditation is the medicine of concentration. So we all concentrate on things. So you could be in moving meditations or still meditations. If you're a writer, or if you're reading, or whatever you're focused, the task that you're focusing on. If you can completely control what you're doing and focus on it, you're in a meditation. So meditation is a tool to just kind of to start to quiet the mind, and quiet the noise, the internal dialogue that's happening, and be able to be present with that internal dialogue and those thoughts that show up.
Now,
be so responsive.
Now I respect that, because in order for me to quiet the mind, I leave a room. So I respect that. I respect that, Brother Gilliam. I do. But so someone not experienced, such as myself, you start meditation, slowly. How do you bring me in?
Yeah, you started slowly. So we'll go over, how to breathe, how to sit. You can do it simply sitting in a chair and closing your eyes and just being with your breath. Set a timer if it's 2 minutes, right? And then see if you can just be in stillness for the 2 minutes and focus on your breathing. Focus on maybe the rise and fall of your belly and chest, and get you to focus on different things that you can concentrate on, whether that even be a noise or anything. There's different tools that we utilize for beginners and advanced practitioners. I mean, anybody can come to any class and try one of the meditation classes, because it's for everyone.
Have you guys reached out? Like, have you guys gone to? I'm just thinking of like every time I pass a hospital or something, I see science healthcare workers, work here, and if I pass a home or something, it says certain things. So those folks who've really been like in the trenches of COVID, like, have you seen have those folks really come out and like, listen, I'm really going through it. I really need to, decompress. How has that affected business, if at all?
Well, it's been it's affected business in a positive way.
Right.
I'm glad to see we have a lot of first responder members that are brawling. We have a lot of teachers, and then we have a lot of parents, because a lot of parents during this time didn't think that they were going to be homeschooling their kids, and there's a lot of stress behind that. And some can't go back to work. So we have all these people coming in they're looking for an outlet. And brawl is that release. You tap in and let go of anything that might be pissing you off, all the aggression, be able to release that, and then come back into your breath. Brawl is all about not being afraid and not being judgmental on confronting the things that you're going through, and then being able to deal with it, whatever adversity, whatever chaos, whatever obstacles come up, because it's all a part of life, right? Like, COVID is happening. So you'll stress out and internally suffer if you don't accept and start to adapt to how the world is, right? If you want it to be normal, how it used to be.
Agreed.
But and brawl is just a tool that helps you embrace change. That's all. That change is the inevitable. We're constantly changing.
Definitely, definitely. I'm really sick on the acronym of Brawl though, man. I first off, I'm gonna get me a Brawl T-shirt because
Hey,
it's one of the few times I heard Brawl in a positive sense all around. So
yeah, we're all brawling right now.
I love it. I love it. Let me ask you, how are you? So this fight for fitness, Brawl, like what's the end thing for you? Like what's your goal in all of this?
To impact the orange community in a positive way, exposing people to old ancient practices like yoga, exposing the community to the benefits of boxing, and getting this practice out to the world. We have been grateful. We're super grateful to have connected with so many people across the country during this pandemic. We thought it was going to be really rough, but when we went to live stream, we created this hashtag called Brawl Nation, and we now have people brawling in Chicago, California, Texas, Atlanta, North Carolina, Delaware, Pennsylvania, all over the place. So to expand on that, and you see the merch. You know, we're going to be putting out some new stuff very soon. We're going to have more on-demand stuff coming in more formats that you can experience in our up and coming brick and mortar space that will be opening soon in this new year in 2021.
I like that. I like that, man. If someone was because you have a journey, Brother Gilliam, like you, police officer, business owner, yoga instructor, yoga/box instructor. And you know what? Before I even move too far out, can you expound a little bit about the boxing? Because I know when people or parents hear, or, you know, folks hear about boxing, is that whole fight situation. Just what are you, and you spoke about or touched on the benefits of it. So can you elaborate some more on the benefits of that boxing workout?
Absolutely. So boxing is just like any other martial art. It's a fight discipline, and it can be very intimidating, especially to most people, because most people don't get into fights. Most people but so we wanted to take a fight discipline that teach you how to be strong, develop your confidence, develop your endurance and your health, your strength. And we wanted to give that piece, the positive benefits of the fight discipline, and make it approachable for everyone. So I've done this also with owning a martial arts school. You know, martial arts is something that was pretty much created and given to soldiers to go out and go to battle. We don't have people going out to battle to go fight and kill, but we have people going out to battle and fight, and they want to win in their life. So this is just something that we're giving to people.
Hold up, man. Hold up. I'm amped up when you said that right there, though, Gilliam. I killed that.
We're all brawling against something. We're all for something. You know, so that's what it's all about. I mean, and the boxing is very similar to the yoga. People think that they're like counter opposites. Like, oh, you have this really aggressive, and then you have yoga. But there's and if you look at our website at BRWLstudio.com, you'll see the how we compare the two to each other. And it's a strong focus on the breath. You know, when you're fighting, you have to be breathing. If you're holding your breath, you're going to gas out. You don't know how to breathe properly. And you also have to relax, just like in yoga. You know, in yoga, you're going through challenging holding weight-bearing postures, but you have to be connected to the breath. If you're not connected to the breath or relaxed, you'll probably fall out of the posture to be too challenging for you. Just like with brawling, you got to be able to be relaxed when everything hits the fan, when the chaos, when the obstacles come, when the adversity comes. You got to be able to think through that. So those are some of the benefits on like, how are you learning how to take on adversity and learning how to believe in yourself, shift your attitude, change and tap into your energy and concentrate and focus. You need all of those things to be successful in a fight. And some of the best fighters are the most calm and relaxed fighters. Muhammad Ali, he was calm, relaxed during the fight, you know, and that's what we're giving to people at Brawl.
Definitely, man. Listen, I love the mindset of Brawl, man. Listen, you guys got me. But listen, Brother Gilliam, listen, I'm going to give you about 20 minutes and about 13 strong push-ups. I'm going to let you know that right now. I'm going to give you my all, Brother Gilliam. You got work to do with me, though. You got work to do with me.
Hey, we got you.
I know that. Listen, so from the business perspective though, so for someone who just wanted to kind of get into business itself, and I love the story, man, that you didn't let COVID kind of just close your doors, right? You found another way. You found another opportunity. You outside the brick and mortar. Listen, this thing is a dream. It's a vision. It's bigger than this building, right? So I appreciate hearing that. You know, I definitely do. What's your advice for somebody in any business or whatever they were doing and they got into business? What's your advice for them, like right now?
Stay focused. Continue to believe in yourself. Stay the course. Start to think outside the box during these times. You know, these are not traditional times. These are different, unprecedented times that we haven't been faced with. But there's still ways. There's still people that's out there making money and doing things. It's just, how do you get to it? You know, learning how to reinvent yourself and learning how to constantly pivot and not being stuck. So keeping an open mind to pivoting and putting yourself out there. If you're out there, if you started, why stop? It's like, come on, you didn't get started for nothing.
That's it, and that's exactly why I'm afraid to come to the gym, because you're going to tell me you just started. Don't stop right now.
Don't stop. And I want everybody to know too that the videos and stuff may look challenging. You hear boxing, you hear yoga, this practice, it meets you where you are. And I say this before every class. The trainers say this before every class. Just continue to work from where you're at. You know, that's all about being a brawler. It's just show up and brawl out. Give the best that you can from where you are, because that's when the suffering starts, is when we try to work from places that we're not.
Right.
You know, work from where you are. And that's all we ask you to do. You know, we're here to help you. We're not here to discourage you and put you down. We're here to motivate and inspire you to keep pushing and keep showing up for yourself. Well,
you know what? I would love to be able to be like that poster child and come down there and you take that picture of me and, you know, after I done took off, you know, the sweatshirt and the girdle, I would love to be able to be like, listen, and then and look like this later on. So I'm gonna have to come down and see if I could do that. And so, you know, my viewers could be like, if they could do that for Mr. Belton, you know, that's possible for me. So definitely. But listen, Martesse Gilliam, man, it was definitely a pleasure to have you on. Definitely want to make sure that we continue. You guys come back into the school. We have some. I know that there's just great energy that you guys could just bring to us. I mean, I'm thinking about, man, we might even want to do something with staff on a mental note, right? Just because it's just I just love the energy. And so we'll move forward with that. We'll make sure we keep in touch. And so, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Martesse Gilliam, co-founder of BRWL Yoga Studios, and then some. Definitely. What I want to also do is I want to put the link to your video, and I also want to make sure we link your address to the studio. So whatever we're doing, I want to make sure that we push out that positiveness, and and folks will come down and enjoy, all of the energy and hopefully change a life, that attitude that you guys come with, man. So I'm definitely proud of you, bro. So we'll keep in touch.
Thank you.
Fearless Leader, and I'm out.
Thank you for listening to the Fearless Leader Podcast, a podcast made to help you take control of your life and find your passion. If you enjoyed tonight's podcast, make sure you subscribe so you're notified whenever a new episode is posted, and rate and review this podcast and share it with your friends. We really appreciate your support here at the Fearless Leader Podcast. Thanks so much for listening. We'll see you all next week.